everybody, and welcome to another edition of Talking Reds on Wednesday in association with Tokyo Time. Once again, I'm here with Mr. Rob Gutmann, full of coffee, so I'm sure he's raring to go.
So my iPad in front of me makes it look like I'm like a professional.
Does it?
I think it does. Yeah.
Really?
They can't see what I'm looking at though. We get a reflection in my glasses.
Yeah, hey, you know what? Some people actually got my ringtone from last week, so I wouldn't back against the craftiness of our YouTube viewers, you know.
There are no weirdos on the internet, Mo.
So, getting back to today's show. Thankfully, we're in that period of the schedule where every Wednesday is either the day after a match or the day of a match. And today, we are the day of a match. So the second game in the Champions League, we're away to Napoli, who are a dangerous Italian team, Rob. But
dangerous.
How are you feeling about the prospects? Are you excited? You think we can go out there and get a result?
Well, I'd sort of got myself into a mindset that Napoli were a bit shit, but I realised I might have been very wrong about that. Then I started looking at I wrote my preview piece on the Avia website, and I started looking at the team. We've discussed their results, and I had a little look at them. They're still set. They're second in Italy.
Yeah.
Juve puts a bit of daylight between them and Napoli. They beat a 10-man Napoli the week. I mean, Napoli are clearly a very good team. The way I'm seeing it is a win is wonderland. I noticed the bookies have us as marginal favourites for this. Well, they're us favourites in the sense that if anyone's going to win, it's going to be us. We're about evens. Don't know what you think of that call, Mo.
I mean, I personally think that the favourites tag is probably just because of the fact that we've just beaten PSG. I would put it down to that more than anything. I think when you're looking at Napoli, I think the results on paper probably aren't as conducive as the actual performances on the pitch. We're at that stage of the season where every team is basically evolving. Some of them who've got injuries, some of them who've got new players who are getting used to each other, coming back at different times. All of that stuff that we've talked about that could be a problem from pre-season. Teams are kind of getting it together at different rates. When you add into the fact that Napoli have got a new manager, even though he's a very experienced guy in Carlo Ancelotti, then these things are also going to take time. I think.
Hasn't he had a bit of criticism in it?
He has. I mean,
I can't quite figure why.
Well, he hasn't worked out. He hasn't got this good team playing the way they were before.
Yeah.
And as much as yes, they lost Jorginho, who's a big miss, and they lost the manager. Obviously, it's a big miss.
Yeah.
There's only really Peperina who's not there from that side. So a lot of the much vaunted sort of front three or front four, if you want to put Marek Hamšík in there, are all still in place.
Have they bought anyone?
They haven't bought anyone of note. What they have done is that the guys that they bought last year, for example, Arkadiusz Milik, he is now fit and ready to go, and he's been getting more minutes now.
Scoring.
Yeah, he's been scoring. I think he's been a very effective player, but the problem is that it's a very different way of playing to what they had before with the tried and tested system. So at any point where it goes wrong, then obviously the manager's going to come into full criticism. I feel like he's getting to the stage now where he knows what he's got, he knows what he's about, and they're starting to perform well. Even against Juventus, like they took the lead in that game with a very, very slick attacking move that looks like what they were doing last season, but also looked like what we were doing last season.
Yeah.
So it's almost like two very different setups, but you're still going to have a lot of the same problems. They're good technical players. They move the ball quickly. Obviously, Milik's more of a target man than someone like Dries Mertens, but I feel like that we have to be on our mettle. I would be reticent. I would think we're going to make changes because I think we're in that stage of the season where every game's going to have 2 to 3. I would say 2 to 3, yes. 4 to 5, you're in dangerous territory.
Yeah. Italian teams for me are hard to gauge against English opposition. It's only Juve who've consistently looked that are at the highest level because it's a strange league. I mean, you saw Arsenal against AC Milan last season. I think a poor Arsenal.
Those were two dysfunctional teams at that time.
Sure. I know. I mean, the only glimpse we had of the Italians was two pre-season games where we made them, where Napoli and Torino looked very, very ordinary. I know it's only pre-season, but I think it was just a marker that we're very good. I think they're that little bit more worried about us than we are them. We need. I mean, to me, a draw's fine. A draw keeps us in control of the group. I said after we beat PSG, we can virtually keep on drawing now because you get through with about 9 points. It'd be nice to win. If we win, I think we're on course for winning the group.
I think if we draw this game, then we will probably need to beat them at home. But yeah, you're right. I think if we win this game, especially if we're expecting PSG to beat Red Star. That puts us on 6, PSG second on 3, and the other 2 on 1. It's a 5-point buffer to qualification after 2 games. And I believe that if you're in a position to potentially take advantage, this is the time to take the advantage. So whereas you can say, yes, it's not a must-win game, a draw could be a good result. So some people might be tempted to say, okay, well, we kind of rest a few guys, go out there and say, okay, the draw's not that bad. But if you've ever seen this Liverpool team not play to win any game, you know it normally goes badly. So I would be reticent to do that in general. I worry about some of the players in the team who haven't had rest yet. I'm thinking, we were discussing off air, Sadio Mane is one who potentially...
Every game I think he's played this season.
I think he has played every game. The other one I would mention is potentially Gini Wijnaldum. And
has he had a rest yet? Apart from the League Cup game, he didn't play in the League Cup game.
No.
The fullbacks are the guys who seem to, apart from that League Cup game, they've played almost every, and they don't get taken off. But they are young. I mean, I'm looking ahead. After City, it's almost a clear week. Then you've got 2 games in a week. I don't know. I think he's hinted in his press conference, Klopp, that he'll make changes. I always try to think back to what he said and see, does he tell the truth or not? Because managers are wont to mislead, misdirect, lie even. No. He said for Chelsea, we will not make the maximum changes, we will not make the minimum changes. He made 8 changes.
That gives him a big window, though.
Yeah, it gives him a big window. I'd say that means 5. We will not make the maximum. He did 8. It's a lot nearer the bloody maximum for my money. So he said we'll make 1 or 2, maybe more. I mean, there's a couple of obvious ones. Naby doesn't start at the weekend, comes on, does really well, I think. Henderson, he doesn't like to overplay Henderson.
No.
So there's a swap possibly there.
I agree.
I think that's a change without even blinking. I think something has to give with one of the front 3. As we've just said, Mane's played every single game. Shaqiri looks ready. There's a question on Daniel Sturridge. I mean, top scorer Daniel Sturridge, but Daniel is. Do we want to risk playing him into injury? Do we want to keep Bill? I just got the feeling that the Klopp and the backroom boys are saying there could come a time this season where we play Daniel for a couple of matches, for a couple of 90s on the bounce, but he's going to have to play a lot of 20s and 30s and 40s.
I think he knows this as well. I think this is the difference this season, for my money, in the Sturridge Klopp relationship, because it's not all just the onus isn't all on Sturridge here. I think that's something that's clear. I think they've both kind of come to an agreement and understand of what each other want and what they can give them. So, like you say, I think we're in a stage of situation where he's going to say to Sturridge, look, you're probably going to feature in every game, but sometimes it's going to be 40 minutes, sometimes it's going to be 20 minutes, sometimes it might even be only 5 minutes. But you are still an important part to our game plan. We will still need you to come on and be effective, so don't let your head drop. And I think that based on what we've seen so far, I think that will still happen. I would also agree with you. I wouldn't be starting him in this particular game, but I would definitely have him on the bench, ready to score a goal if we need one.
Yeah, I'm beginning to. I wonder if games like Chelsea at the weekend, where we turn it with our subs, in the way that they turned it with theirs in midweek, whether Klopp's eyes might open a little bit more, I think, to winning tight games in the last half hour. You know, I know his whole philosophy as Liverpool manager and his whole career is we go on a pitch to win a football match as quickly as we possibly can, but some teams don't allow you to do that, and they're just too good. And I wonder if this is such a game. I don't think he can afford to take this lightly. I mean, a few weeks ago I'd have said, yeah, we've beaten PSG, we don't have to beat Napoli. We could make 2 or 3 changes. We could take 2 of the front 3 out, but I'm not so sure anymore. I think we need the momentum for City. I think if you beat Napoli, confidence is sky high, and you don't have to worry about tired legs then. I think adrenaline takes care of itself. Let them rest in the week after.
Yeah, and when you're speaking about momentum as well, we have to factor in what City did last night with their comeback victory, which is going to be restorative for them, because they took an early punch in the mouth, and it was quite indicative or quite instructive for us to look on as Liverpool fans, because there was big gaps.
Yeah, they drive a bus through between the fullback and the centre back. There it was a worrying goal to concede. I thought City's gathered themselves very, very well in that game. I was quietly impressed with them.
I was impressed with them, and I think that calmness that you mentioned, that belief in their own ability and their ability to be able to put pressure on anybody, I think that was what got them through that game. The thing that I really took on board from it, though, was the Hoffenheim, in a very similar vein to what Wolves did, in a very similar way to what we do, they were there to attack Manchester City. Their game plan included attacking Manchester City as much as it included stopping Manchester City. Now, for Hoffenheim, it's a little bit different situation because they had so many. They have, I think, 5 first-team defenders unavailable for
did they?
Yeah.
Really?
So they normally play a back 3, but they went to a back 4 in this game, and they played a 4-3-3. But it was a very much attacking 4-3-3. They were leaving the 3 guys up the pitch as much as possible and giving City a problem to deal with. And for the most part, it worked. And obviously, that's something that we always try to do. So you could look at it and say City had a bit of practice, or you could look at it and say that other people are realising that this is the best way to beat them.
I was intrigued that City went strong. The defeat in the first game probably prompted that selection. He knew he needed points on the board here. Guardiola, had they lost, I think they'd have been on the verge of a mini crisis in the Champions League. And I think even a draw would have left him uneasy. So he put his big guns out. I mean, it's Aguero, Sane, and Sterling up front. Interestingly,
and David Silva in midfield.
Yeah, with Gundogan, who goes off injured, which I think is good. I mean, there's talk of De Bruyne being ready, but I can't see it. Maybe from the bench. He's back in full training now, but he's been 6 weeks, a month out, hasn't he? So I can't see that. I was hoping that Aguero might tweak something because he's made comments about Aguero's fitness.
He was an injury risk before the game because I think he'd broken a toe or he'd severely damaged one of his toes. I honestly couldn't see any signs of it in that game. He was sharp. And
he was firing.
I must admit, I was doing the whole, how bad is that tackle every time the City player went down? And it got me thinking, if you could take one of them out, maybe I wouldn't necessarily wish injury on anyone. We don't want to do that. Maybe there's been some kind of mad disciplinary thing where one of them's got divorced and gone out on the piss, and now he's been suspended for the game.
We could get all kinds of wrong here. I'm going to answer your question. Who do I want out?
Yeah, this is a hypothetical situation that doesn't involve injury.
Yes, we can't stress that enough.
Yeah,
David Silva. I thought David Silva, he scores the winner, but he pulls all the strings still. Why can he just not simply go off the boil and stop being the top level brilliant professional that he is? He was amazing.
It's really hard to hate him, though. It genuinely is hard to hate him, not just because obviously he's been through hardship himself.
It's wonderful to watch. Yeah.
He is what I love football. He's an embodiment of the things that I love about football in terms of his movement, his touch, his passing ability, and his reading of the game. Like, if he had feet, if his mind had feet, they'd be faster than Usain Bolt. Definitely.
I'm trying to visualise a mind that had feet, and it's not a pretty thing.
But you know what I mean.
I know what I mean. I know what you mean. Yeah.
But because obviously the winning goal he scores last night is really indicative of it. The defender, Posh, I think his name is.
Posh.
I think his name is Posh or Pox.
Posh is German for pocket. He did not have David Silva in his Posh.
No. But David picked his Posh.
He picked his Posh.
There you go.
He was fucking awful. Posh. I mean, that was just. I was going. I was watching the game, and he moved towards Silva. Go on, you prick! And then he spins him and bang.
He just didn't pay attention to his blind side, and he took a heavy touch, and that heavy touch was all it took for David Silva to sneak past him, take it off his toe, and blam it into the bottom corner. 88th minute, 2-1. Thank you very much. So we need to remember that, like you say, he's a dangerous guy. They've got lots of dangerous guys out on the team. They're obviously going to be worried about us. They know exactly what we can do. So thinking about that game on Sunday, it's going to be titanic, however you look at it. Both teams are going to go into it fully aware of the danger that they possess and that they can cause the other team. So I think
we're talking about City, we should be talking about Napoli. I'm hoping the Guardiola was sitting there watching Liverpool YouTubes on his phone while he was meant to be watching his team last night, like we know you do, Pep.
Well, we've already done the Napoli bit, and now we're doing this.
Yeah, it's logical. It's not fair.
Yeah, I mean, if you only turned on at this point, maybe
you'd think, what?
Yeah.
Anyway, go on. So Napoli, what did we conclude on the number of changes?
I think we're going to
just two.
Three maximum, but I
don't see where the third is, unless it's a defensive one.
Well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, one of my ideas was if if you could almost guarantee that Milik was going to play, I think it might be a nice game for Lovren to come into, because I think in terms of the particular strengths of Lovren as a defender, he would be a good matchup against Milik. I mean, I think Van Dijk and Gomez can handle him as well, but I think in terms of if you're looking to maybe find someone else to fit in somewhere, then that might be an option. But again, it all depends upon how they train, how Klopp's feeling.
Would you think it'd be a major shock if Fabinho got a look in somewhere?
I mean, I don't know about a major shock, but I would be slightly surprised to see him start this game. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he was on the bench. No.
No, yeah, I'd be disappointed if he wasn't actually. I think we're bedding him in, and there's issues about the Prem and its pace and its aggression. But I think European football, I know it's a big game. You'd think that's more appropriate. There is a case of it. I mean, I keep saying this. Give him a little go at right back. Brazil do. They're no slouches. Trent can't play every game.
No, I mean, I think the worry about that is that when it's like, if I want to use an American football analogy for a minute for the people to understand, if he's kind of learning the new playbook and then you kind of give him another one to deal with at that time, maybe it's not the best time. I genuinely think that when it comes to Fabinho, after Christmas, this is all going to seem like nothing. I mean, I was looking specifically, we always use Andy Robertson as the example from last season. He'd basically played 5 games before the beginning of December.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
And it was like, once he got his position in, once he got his place in, that was it. He was there. And I genuinely think that Fabinho's going to have the same issue, although let's not pretend that Andy Robertson was fine and calm and happy with that situation where it was, because he has come out and said since that it was a really tough time for him.
Well, there were 2 case studies last season, weren't there? Parallel.
Chamberlain as well.
Yeah, exactly. Chamberlain, exactly the same. In fact, he was slightly longer to establish himself, but when he did, I mean, he was emerging as a key player by the end of the season.
So it's going to really be down to Klopp's individual man management to make sure Fabinho doesn't get disheartened, make sure he keeps him involved, keeps him, allowing him to develop, allows him to see the progression within his game, even if it's just a case of him getting it a little bit more each day and helping him understand and think, yes, look, you might not be getting the minutes you want, but trust me, you're pleasing me week on week and you will get them. I think that's really what his balance is going to need to be.
I agree.
Okay.
Are we done?
We're not done.
What else are we talking about, Mo? We've got shows to record.
We got shows, man. We got shows.
Break the fourth wall here. Yeah, so I'm about to walk from this room to a studio and do 2 shows. A show we do on our Tour Player subscription service, and it's called The History Show. What we call history, actually, it's called. My shorthand on my oh shit! Now I'm spilling tea. It's all going Pete Tong, isn't it? Let's move it away from electrical devices.
That sounded so great. And so I was in my head. I was like, that's not the name of the show.
No, so it's called What We Call History, and it's a box set of a series. We're on to about the second or third one. We're doing 3 and 4 today, I think. And it's from the 2001-2002 season, which is a fascinating season, where Gerard Houllier becomes very unwell, and Phil Thompson takes the helm, and Houllier makes a dramatic comeback. It's got lots. It should be a movie this season, and I'm looking forward to doing it.
That was around the time when I was at university, and I was living those
great days.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of them were great. But I was really like living every single day, second minute of that whole Houllier experience. So yeah, I'll definitely be listening back to that. Obviously, as I said, today is a match day, so we've got lots of match-related shows coming out. We're going to be doing the post-match pint, which is going to be at Motel tonight, and we're obviously going to have the Pink out as well. I believe we've still got a second look coming back from Chelsea that's going to be out over the next few hours or so.
That's a video show.
That is a video show.
It's a video show, yeah.
That is a video show, correct. And there was one more, wasn't there? Let me just check my quick list. I believe there might have been one more.
Yeah, let's keep breaking that fourth wall. There's loads more.
Oh, of course there was. What? It was the one that was out last night, the Under the Lights show, which is the preview to the game tonight.
Of course it is.
It really does get you going for it. Under the Lights is probably one of my favourite of the little shows we do, because it is always one of those that really makes you think about what we love, about what it is that we're doing here. And Champions League football is one of those that it always gets your spine tingling. People always get up for it more than they do anyway. And if you want to get up for it before tonight's game, I suggest you listen to that show, because it's fantastic.
Me and Mo are both up for it. But you can't tell because the table in front of us. Anyway. There, I did it. That gag.
I'm amazed.
Word from our sponsors.
I was going to say I'm amazed it's taken this long, but then I thought that might also get construed to another part of the gag, and yeah, we probably shouldn't go there. So yeah, another word from our sponsors. That'll be it for us today. Thank you for watching as always, and let's have a good game tonight, Reds. We'll see you then.
Tokyo Time is sponsoring Talking Reds for Wednesdays for the foreseeable future, which were made up about. They're a Liverpool company. They're trying to do things differently. They're trying to do things better, a bit like the Anfield wrap. And so they've set up only recently, but already got a lot of traction for kind of what they want to do. They helped us out in America. They gave us hats to wear over there, and very much needed they were in that bacon sun next to the pitch watching the Liverpool boys train. So yeah, since then they've come in, they've asked us about doing something a little bit more formal. So that's what we're going to do. So they're going to be sponsoring Wednesdays on the Talking Reds for the foreseeable future. If you're into your baseball caps, you're into your street style, or you know anyone else who is, or you're looking for presents to buy for people, do check out their website. It's tokyotime.co.uk, or follow them on Instagram. They've got loads of styles, something for everyone, and the fit is really, really good. So yeah, cheers to the boys for supporting us. They're supporting us, so do try and support them, tokyotime.co.uk.